channel. Before we get started, click that like button, turn notifications, give her a huge thumbs up, and also stay at home.
Good morning. Like I said, I'm still waking up. My husband had to get up early this morning and do a work errand, so it's kind of quiet. I really appreciated today's reading. I thought about, when I was reading this, I thought about this because with me and my husband, or my husband and I, it was hard for us because I was a full-fledged crazy JW. And oftentimes we had many disagreements. And there are so many contradictions in the Bible. Now I can see when I step back and I look. There are so many contradictions in the Bible, but I always tried to be a quiet and mild-tempered wife, which that was not inherently I think it was not in my genes to be quiet and mild-tempered. It just wasn't. But I tried, and when we had disagreements about the Bible, I would just remember that he was a human being and he had his views on life. And although I had never read this particular excerpt, I always tried to give my husband respect. I know I was hateful at times because there's no way that you can be one of Jehovah's Witnesses and not be hateful. I'm sorry, you just can't. You have to be hateful. You have to hate homosexuals. You have to hate people that do wrong. Adulterers, you have to hate them. You have to hate your child when they don't believe the way you do. You have to hate your friends. You have to hate your neighbors. There's hate. Doesn't matter what you say. You look at them as walking corpses. So it was, in our marriage, it was difficult because I knew I had to be respectful and mild-tempered, and yet I had to hate what is bad. So it was just very hard in our marriage to be able to do that. I did apply these points before I even really understood what I was applying. I knew that I wanted to give my husband respect in a way that showed basic human respect, because that's what I would do when I would go out from door to door. And that's what it would always bother me. It would always bother me when I would come home, because I would think, well, why couldn't I, even as a youngster, because I remember when my dad was disfellowshipped, I wasn't allowed to pray for him. And I thought, well, that is odd. I'll go from door to door and talk to my neighbors, but I can't, and pray for them, but I couldn't pray for my father, or I couldn't, I couldn't just love my husband, and that was hard for me. It was really hard for me. And even as a Christian, after I left Jehovah's Witnesses, I still felt like, well, wait a minute, how does this work? How am I supposed to hate what is bad, but I have friends that are gay, and I love them. They're honest, they're genuine, they're kind. Some of the most kind men I have met in my life are gay. So, and there are a lot of gay men stuck in the organization, and you kind of know that they're gay because they are not attracted to women. Really good. There was a couple that I liked, and they had a friend who was gay, and he disappeared, and he went to Bethel. And he did fun things like go to Bethel and, quote, fun things for Jehovah's Witnesses. He accomplished a lot, and he was, I believe, he moved himself up in the ranks. I don't know exactly where he ended, like if he was an elder and then he turned around and just decided to leave, but I know he left, and he found someone to love him, and I'm glad for him. I'm proud of him. He's living his truth, and it's hard. It's hard to live your truth when you leave. It's really hard because you have to find it. You really do. You have to find your bliss. You don't know what it is. I just thought that it, as a witness to just going back to this reading, you have to be kind to the people that you are living around. I did that. I was kind to my husband, and I loved my husband. I didn't want, I didn't want to treat him unkindly. I saw how women did that in their marriages, and I saw how destructive it was, and how many women just were never happy, even when their husbands came into the organization. They still weren't happy. They still wanted elders and ministerial servants. Excuse me, I need to clean this. Sorry. Yeah, so some of these women were still not happy when their husbands came into the organization. It was sad because you think you want your husband in, and then when he finally comes in, I saw that in my own family. My father got disfellowshipped, and when he finally came in, it still wasn't good enough. She wanted more and more and more, and a lot of these men are good men, and that's why they will never be elders. They will never be ministerial servants. When I had left, I had left a really wonderful couple who raised their children, 2 young girls in the organization, and her husband wasn't an elder. And they were both balking at it because they wanted him to be an elder. And I hope he's not an elder because he's a good guy. And I just don't think they realized that he was a good person. And that's why he wasn't an elder. Anyway, my husband's home now, so I gotta go. I hope this helps you on your healing journey. Follow your bliss. Enjoy your families. Enjoy your marriages. Be good humans. No.